Hi there, this is Nigel from ForumZ.com. I'm just showing you my little video camera here that I bought. It's a neat little product. I got it to do some point of view shooting with my RC cars. So I thought it would be like a really neat idea that I could put a camera on my car and I drive it around and see what it looks like as it goes around. Anyways, I bought this from a shady character that I found in the local classifieds. Now the price was right for this thing, but unfortunately it didn't work right out of the box, and I had to go and do some stuff to make it work. And I did a little bit of modification to make sure that it keeps on going here. So I'm just gonna show you what I did, and hopefully you can get your stuff to work too. Okay, so now we got that unpleasant disclaimer stuff done. So what we're going to do to modify this thing is I'm going to put a charge tap in here, and it's pretty easy to do. It didn't take me really long to do it. It took about 40 minutes in total. So the first thing you got to do is to go and take out the 4 little screws that hold the case together. So in the next frame here, you're going to see that there's some arrows, and it shows you where the 4 screws are to go and take this thing apart. So the first thing you need to do is take those 4 screws out. You need a micro screwdriver to do it. So once you've gotten the screws out of this thing, then you take the case apart. This is what you're going to see. You see the little 1S Lipo there that powers this little camera and the little power wire that joins it up onto the board. Now you have to be really careful with these little wires because they're very, very thin and break off pretty easily. So I guess what ended up being wrong with my little unit here is that the charge circuit didn't work really well. So I charged this thing for over 5 hours, and it only went up, 1/10 of 1 volt according to my voltmeter. So I wasn't too pleased with that. So what I ended up doing is I took the little Lipo out of there. I desoldered it from the board, and then I went and charged it with my regular RC car Lipo charger, and that seemed to have solved the problem. But then I thought, hey, you know what? This is kind of a pain. I don't want to split the case every time I want to go and charge my my little camera here. So I thought that putting a charge port into it would probably be the best solution. So this is what I'm gonna do to go and correct these problems. So before you do anything, before you unsolder anything from the board or anything like that, make sure you mark the polarity of the wire to the board. Now I always do this with like a black Sharpie or something like that, and it's just easier because you know what? I don't know about you, but I forget. So instead of like going and reversing it and blowing it up, 1 dot with a black Sharpie, that's all you need. Just indicate the negative, and you're off and running. Okay, so now here's the connector that I selected for this job. I tried to find the smallest connector that I could ever find, so what I ended up choosing is an SIP HDR 2.5 millimeter connector. They're fairly cheap. They only cost like a couple of dollars each, so it's not a huge amount of money, but it's very small. And you know what? You get like a piece that's long enough, you can like make several connectors out of it, and still have a little bit left over. So for me to go and make my little connector here, all I did is I simply cut 3 pins off of each strip, and there you are. There's a nice little connector. So what I've done here now is I've soldered on my wires onto my little connectors. So I've used a heavier gauge wire so I can have something that's a little bit more robust to connect to my charger, and I got 2 little skinny wires to go and connect inside the camera itself. So what you can see is I've removed the board from the case, and I've simply paralleled my little charge tap onto the board. So it's a really simple procedure. You do positive to positive, negative to negative, and that's pretty much it. Now, you'll probably also notice that I used 3 pins, and I'm only actually using 2 for the power. And there's a really good reason for that, and it's so you can't possibly reverse it or reverse charge it and cause a lot of problems. So it's a really simple method to make your own kind of polarized connector. So once we've soldered this thing in here, we need to fix it to the chassis somehow. So the simplest method that I can ever think of is using hot glue. Hot glue is really useful stuff. Very easy for you to take it off if you've made a mistake, and in general, it's pretty easy to handle. So using a little bit of hot glue here, that's all I did. I just put a big dab on there, and that's what made it stay in place. So if you've done everything right and you're trying to put the case back together, obviously it won't fit. So you need a little notch there in the case. So you're gonna have to trim out a little hole there to go and make sure that the case closes back and it looks like you've done a professional job. So I measured the size of the tap that I had, and it was 8 millimeters by 2.75 millimeters. So that's the little size of the hole that you need to make so you can close the case. So there you have it. Here's my completed project here with my tap in there. And for a power plug, I use the Demons Ultra connector, or a T-plug, whatever you like to use. But this is it. And, this makes it a lot more convenient for you to be able to check the voltage, or for you to charge it. Or if you need to go and put like a giant 1S battery on there, and virtually have like unlimited recording time. So it's a very easy modification. Doesn't take very long, and I hope you enjoyed this video.